Hi everyone, and welcome to this part 3 video of this collection of videos that I'm doing on EMUs and DMUs and other items which fall into both of those categories. So like I say, welcome. Now, as you can see here on the screen, this is what is to be expected for the first 3 out on this particular part 3. So yeah, let's go and have a look at them. However, before we do, I'd like to just point out to you that I've done something slightly different here. In the past 2 videos, oh, and by the way, if you haven't already seen those, please go and check them out. I think you'll enjoy them very much. But what I have never done before on this particular series of videos is to give you a little bit of a teaser of what's to be coming. So yeah, let's do that right now. Right, you've got that one, and you've got these 2 coming up there. I'm not telling you what everything is at the moment, that's of course. Moving across over to that one, you've got that one there coming up at some point in this video. Under the bridge there we've got 2 more coming up in this video, and we've got that one, and then with a slow sweep across in the hope not to make you too dizzy by going steady, we've got this one here. And we've got another one coming up here, that one, and then over to the sidings of the turntable we've got these 2. So that being the case, let's actually make a start here. Okay, so with a view to getting these first 3 out for you, this is the Great Western Railbus Parcels, Express Parcels version. Now, she's gone onto the turntable fine, but last time I used a turntable was with me and Sam on a video. It was playing up, but it seems to be alright now after a service. So carefully, we're just going to back the Parcels Railbus onto this one here, which is a late BR livery one, and we're going to pull them out together as a pair. Slowly but surely we do it. Now, I will tell you that the Railbus at the back there in late BR colours is actually also motorised, and you're probably wondering why when I backed the Parcels one onto it, why didn't it move if it's motorised? Well, there's a very simple answer to that. It was pushed up against a buffer stop. So who needs DCC? Wicked. Anyway, we've got them to the front there. We'll stop them there and I'll tell you more about them later. Now this one, this is the 1972 livery of the brilliant Brighton Belle 5-car set. As you can see, she's absolutely gorgeous. Now I do realise that this is not such a well sought after or appreciated version than the original chocolate and cream colours of the 1930s, but we'll bring her around to the front and show you anyway. So there's the full 5-car set. Illuminated table lamps, front number 4 illuminated, and the red at the rear illuminated. So that's that one. Now next we've got this one coming from the far reaches of the earth, well no, far reaches of the layout really, the furthest left hand corner, as I've mentioned to you before. This one is the Hornby Class 2 HAL. Beautiful model, very well made, beautiful detail, absolutely fantastic detail. But look guys, once again another Hornby failure on lighting. No interior lighting, no directional lighting. Everything else is great, but why, Hornby, do you not give us the lighting? Hell's bells. So there you have it. There's your first 3 out for today. Now I'm going to bring these 2 round and just explain to you rather quickly that these were originally a Lima product, and Hornby acquired the tooling for these when they bought out Rivarossi, who at that point Lima had already been part of the same firm. They'd already joined up. Yeah, and obviously it's got a new chassis and a 5-pole skew motor, which is great, but you know, it's really no detail, no lights. Very bland. I wish Hornby would have gone a little bit further with these, but you know, that's what it is, and that's what it is. So yeah, we'll just get them going anyway. Oh, and by the way, the BR colours one, livery one, I bought that by mistake. The thing is here, don't buy anything off eBay when you've had a few whiskies. I pressed the wrong button and got the wrong one. I wanted the Great Western one, but never mind. Right, okay, then we'll get this one going around as well. Of course, you already know what it is, the Brighton Belle, the 70s version. So that's on its way. Yeah, looking cool. And then we get the two hull going here. Yeah, shame again, no lighting, look. Oh, it's such a shame. The detail is fantastic, but just no damn lights. Oh, maddening. Well, I'll go around a couple of times and then I'll start giving you some detailed info about them. Yes, speeds look good, look fine. Starting on the inside, I'm lying on them with the two AEC rail cars, and I can tell you, I think there was 38 of these made, all told, and I think they were built during the Second World War, but I'm not quite sure exactly when. It might have been the early end, I'm not 100% sure. Now, something I can remember about these is that they were fitted with some kind of a electro-pneumatic control system and buffers, so they could actually work in tandem, which is why I thought it was a good idea to put these two together like this. And again, I can't swear to the fact that it might have been a Parcels and a passenger put together, but there's certainly a chance that that could have happened. So yeah, interesting stuff. Having just referred to the Great Western Parcels one, I do remember that Lehman modelled this on a very solitary unit. I think it was built in Swindon in the early 1940s, so there was only one of them ever made. Right, the Brighton Belle, let me see what I can tell you about this. Come on John, get your thinking cap on. Okay, I know it was originally coded 5-pole, but that later got changed to the Class 5 Belle, which is pretty obvious really. Initially it was called the Southern Belle, but again that got changed to Brighton Belle. Right, as we know, it's a 5-car set. Well, there was 3 lots of 5 cars made, and most of the time 2 of them would run in tandem to give you a 10-coach set. The third one was kept for emergencies and a busy peak period, so to speak, and holiday times, etc, etc. Very interesting. I think the very, very last run of these was I believe it was, I think it was 1972, I'm fairly sure it was. Probably around about March, April time. Fairly sure that's roughly the period. I'm trying to think, there's something else that kept crossing my mind. Oh yeah, I know what it is. Yeah, I know. Yeah, these have all been saved, apart from one. And I think that one got damaged in World War II. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I've heard somewhere, or I've read somewhere, that one of them did get damaged, so better just leave it at that. Oh yeah, I did forget though, there is something else. I know a full 5-car set is being restored and it's going to be running again between London and Brighton, so wow, that'd be brilliant when that's done. And so then we're on to the 2 hull now. I know this was a further development of the early class of 2 Belle. There was a lot of changes made, a slightly different shape at the front, and some panels were changed from wood to metal, blah blah blah, and they were also apparently not as comfortable. They were designed for long distance semi-fast services. A total of 100 of them were built, and they were done, I believe, at the Southern Railway's Eastleigh Works, and I think some of the frames came from somewhere else, but I can't quite remember where. I remember once reading that they only had one toilet between the 2 cars. I think you had to walk a long way to be able to go for a pee. Now, as you can see here, I've already started slowing them down, and I'm doing it with the onboard camera on top of them. This is another view I've never done before, so something different again. That, of course, is the Brighton Belle, and the camera's on the middle coach, and I think, yeah, I've just overshot the mark. Back her up, let's back her up. If I'd have done that in Japan, I would have been severely reprimanded. Is that the right word? I think so. Yeah. Yes, this is a shot. I've never seen this myself before, so stopping them like this on the front. Okay, we're on the 2 hull here, on the back coach car, and in anticipation of overshooting again, I've slowed down a bit too soon, really, haven't I? But yeah, better that than going over the top. I'll just bring these round to the stop at the front. As I say, new angles and new shots for me as well. I've never seen this, so it looks quite cool actually. You can see all 3 of them like that. Look, really good. Yeah. Right. Well, that's it. Let's move on to the next 3. Well, as you can see now, we've got a real mix with these next 3, so we'll get them out to the front, and then we'll discuss everything as it comes along. So let's go and do that right now. That's another new shot for you here. I've done it with the camera facing forward when the train comes back to the buffer, but I've not done one with it facing away, which is what's happening now. The famous V on there as well, the illuminated V of the Triang EMU 4-sub. Here she is coming round, just take it nice and steady. Now there's only 3 cars here. I'll explain that to you in a short while. So come on round. Oh, tripping over me own trainers. Oh, slow down. Oh. Bit quick there, sorry about that. Right, okay, we got this one, the networker, class 466. Just follow her around nice and gently, as always. Yeah, looking cool. Very nice set actually, this is a Hornby. And it's actually got front and back lights, guys. No interior lights though, you might be sure. Yeah, we've got the lights on the front, coming around onto the second line 2 here. That's a better slow down than I just did with the 4-sub. Yeah, let's get it there. Yeah, let's line them up ready for the final shot of all 3. Forward a bit. Forward, not backwards, you idiot. Thank you, it's better. Alright, and now we've got this one, and this is another Bachmann. So it's a beautiful model, it's heavy, it's got interior lighting, it's got forward and reverse lighting, directional lighting and cab lighting, or you know, but it's got the lot. Now this is the class 350. Now do I pronounce it Desiro or Desiro? I don't know which way to pronounce this. It was a bit too quick there actually. Look at that lighting, oh wicked. Get her through. Look, this is a 4-car set, beautiful set from Bachmann, absolutely beautiful. It's got no regional livery liveries on it. Hang on, what's happened here? Why has the 466 moved? Oh, I know, I got the wrong switch when I was bringing the Bachmann out just then. There you go then, look, that's the 3 of them in a row. I'll talk to you about them in a bit. Well, you can see here, trying to be different again, I've done it as a fade in, having already got all 3 of the items running at what seems to be sensible and pretty good speeds. So again, it's just to be different. And I've also got them all going around in the anti-clockwise direction, again, just for a variety and to be different. Right, so let's talk about the Triang one, the 4-sub. Now, I've got a good memory when it comes to Triang. I'm pretty competent on my thoughts and my memories on them. I can tell you now that it was never actually detailed correctly. It was never thoroughly investigated. It was based roughly on the 4-sub, which is a bit silly because they never did it as a 2-car set. There was never any centre car actually made for it. But the suburban composite suburban coach would be actually a good one to put between, and a lot of people did do that. Now I've got about 4 or 5, of which I put 1 on. I was going to put 2 on, which then would be correct as a 4-sub, but I decided to be even different again. I've put a utilities van on, which again I believe could and possibly would have been done at the time, but there was no walk-through corridors on these coaches, so you couldn't get to the other coach, so it wouldn't matter having a utilities or a parcels, whatever terminology you want to use, having that on there to make it up to a 4-sub. So yeah, cool. Now I can tell you something else about this, it's rather interesting. When the run had finished, the tooling went out to New Zealand, and one has turned up in Victorian Railways blue. It had been painted green, which seems to suggest that the previous owner didn't actually know the value of a single unit turning up in blue livery, and it appears to have been made in the UK, not in New Zealand. So that paint has been stripped off it, and it's obviously going to be worth a lot of money. And there's no markings on it, there's no decals at all. So yeah, absolutely interesting stuff. I love my Triang stuff. Right, so let's carry on with information on something else for you now. Shall we do the Desiro, however you pronounce it. Right, the class 350 here. So let me tell you about this one. Okay, originally operating on the west coast, these were designed and built by Siemens. I believe that they were then later used on the London Midland City and based in the depot at Northampton. There were 30 of the 4-car units, I believe, dual voltage, 25 kV, and also the 3rd rail. And then I think, if I remember rightly, there was a further, well, I think around about 30 odd units made or ordered by London Midland, but they weren't fitted with the third rail. So again, a little bit of difference between the two. I think they were probably called the Class 350/2. That's about it really. Yeah, lovely set from Bachmann though, absolutely stunning set. I did forget to mention to you, I did say briefly that it does not have any regional decals on it, but on the box it's called Apollo, so that's the name Bachmann's given it, I believe, because it's to say it's non-regional. Yep, but good stuff though. Now, while these are running round, taking us to the end of this part of the video, I'd like to just run a couple of things by you. In parts 1 and 2, I actually did I didn't necessarily bring them out in class order, but I did discuss them with you in class order. And I forgot to tell you at the beginning of this video that I've changed the plan for this one and the next one by basically bringing them out in any order and just mixing and matching them all, which I thought was quite interesting and another thing quite different. Of course, by the end of the series, you will have still seen all of the class numbers involved in the series, but I thought it'd be nice and different to do it randomly, so to speak, and that's what I've done. One other thing I forgot to mention, that once the top classification system came into being, things like the class 5 Belle, the Brighton Belle, she ended up with the classification of class 403, and I think the 4 sub triangle one, that would be classed as a 405. I can't remember off the top of my head what the classification is for the 2 HAL, what you saw in the first section. I'll have to come back on that one, so bear with me a bit. So as you can see, while I've been chatting to you, I've been slowing them down. Those 2 are already stopped, and now comes the 3rd one, my beautiful Triang one, and I just love it. It's just got some magic about it, the old Triang one, it really has. But yep, time to move on again. Here on the screen then you can see we've got a Triang Blue Pullman in first livery, the Hornby Class 2 Belle and the Hornby Class 423 VEP 4-car EMU coming out right now. Okay, starting with this one, this is your 7th locomotive of the day, so, or train I should say really, shouldn't I? It's the nuptial locomotives, the complete trains. Taking it nice and steady, and the reason is that although there's second radius curves there, it comes straight out onto a first radius curve, and some items don't like it, so just being a bit cautious there, but she's done it. This is the Hornby 2 Belle, and again, I'm sorry Hornby, but beautiful model, great detail, no bloody lights again. Oh, it's so annoying, it really is. They make such a great product and they let us down with the lighting, or lack of it I should say. Alright, a quick look along here. Yep, just a simple 2-car set. Alright. Yep. Lovely, well-made model though, I can't deny that. Next up we've got this. Now this is another Hornby. Now guys, I hope you're sitting down because you're going to be flabbergasted here. This is a Hornby 4-car set, and it's got front and back lighting, directional lighting, it's got cab lights, it's got interior lighting, it's got beautiful curtains tied back. It is a beautiful model. Now this is more like it, Hornby. Right. Here you go, you can see now the front light. Might be able to catch the cab light somewhere, maybe not, but it is on, and there's all the interiors lit up as well. It's a real beautiful set. This is certainly more like it. Get her through. Yeah, there's your red tail light, look. I think I'm going to remove those couplings. I don't like to see couplings on them if they're not being used. So there's the first 2. 7 and 8 for today. Now here comes number 9. Now you see she's jerking a little bit there, and I'll tell you why. It's real silly, this one. It's nothing to do with the motor or the locomotive or the pickups or the wheels or anything like that. It's purely and simple that I do clean my 3 main lines regularly, and you forget to do the sidings, and that's what I forgot to do, and that's why she's jerking. I think the sidings have got a bit dusty and they want a bit of a clean, so yeah, she's perfect now, look. Absolutely perfect. Now this is the very first version in the very first livery, and it is absolutely mint. Very, very, very much sought after, this one, because this is the one with the front crest, which you can obviously see there. The white window surround and the beautiful crest. So there's your 3. Bringing the 4 VEP through for you to have a look at. The motor is in that coach there. You can see obviously where it is, and then you can see the other coaches as they are there. It is a beautiful setup. It really is gorgeous. It really is the sort of thing Hornby should be concentrating on more of. So let that come round. There we go. Yeah, wicked. One more. Get the other two on the move. Again, I've swapped directions a bit. We've got this one going in the anti-clockwise direction. And then while the camera's over here, we bring the other two into play. Here's the two bill. Like I say, no lighting, but fortunately that's the way it is. Looks very smart though. Yeah, you saw the two hull a bit earlier on in this video, and this is the two bill here is the one which it was followed. The two hull followed on from this one with some improvements. Okay, let's get the beautiful Triang Pullman on the go. And by the way, this was just worth noting, we are on Pico track here. I've changed the wheels on the power bogie at the front there, obviously. And I've changed all of the wheels on all of my Triang Pullman stuff to the modern Hornby wheels, so as you can see they're going to run fine on modern track, and it actually does. A beautiful converted kitchen car there, just gone through. But you can see yourself how good it is, guys. It's just immaculate. Well, I think it's coming up to information time, so let's get on and do that. Now, before I forget, let me tell you about the class numbers, the top class numbers. Okay, earlier on in the video, the two hull, I couldn't remember the class, but it was class 402. But the two bill, as you can see on line 1 now, that top class number was 401. The Corvette, which is on line 2, is class 423. And here's something some of you might not know. The Blue Pullman was actually classed as a 251 and 261. But all through their lives, they never actually carried those class numbers, so interesting stuff there. Got that one out of the way. We'll make a start with the two bill, or the top class number of 401. Now, yes, these were built for semi-fast service from London to Eastbourne, and I think they were first introduced something like 1934, 35, very much somewhere around that period. They were very simple because they consisted of a driver brake third motor coach and a composite driving trailer. There was 52 sets built, and if I remember rightly, I think the trailers were made at a different place, possibly Eastleigh, and the motor coaches were made by Metro Camel. A bit of a strange way of doing it, but I think that's right. They didn't have any gangways, but if I remember rightly, these did have a toilet in each coach, whereas the two hull only had the one toilet, like I mentioned earlier. I think they were pulled out of service around 1968-69, and I think one of them has been preserved in the National Collection. So that, yeah, that's about it for that one. Up next then we've got the class 423 on the line 2, the Corvette EMU. Now I know these were built at York, and I think they were built for 5 years, maybe a bit more than that actually, 1967 until probably 74, so yeah, actually a bit more than 5 years. I think they were intended for southern services really, and we used to stop off at Bournemouth. Trying to think what else I could tell you about them. I think they had 2+3 car seating arrangement with slant doors on each bay. Yeah, as I said earlier on, as she was coming round and I pointed out the motors in the second car, that means that neither of the cars, the end cars, were actually powered. The motor is actually placed in that second car. They were generally used throughout the southern region, and yeah, that's about it. Lovely model though, lovely model Hornby. Absolutely 10 out of 10 for this one. Now guys, before we get into the general information of the Blue Pullman, I'd just like to hit you with this. Well, I know the Bachmann 2 6-car sets, 2 versions of the 6-car sets, so one's got a blue front with the crest and the other one's got the yellow front. I know that they're absolutely beautiful, they're absolutely gorgeous, they're full of interior lighting, cab lighting, directional lighting, all the table lamps light up. The detail is amazing, and I can't knock that, of course. But they're not immediately on my radar, let's put it like that, because I have all 4 versions of the Triang ones. As I say, I know they're not as detailed, I know the lights don't work, but because I've got all 4, I didn't see a lot of points in buying the Bachmann one, or certainly not at the moment, so knowing me, I might change my mind in time, but I thought I'd throw that in for you first. So a little bit of info on the Blue Pullman then, for, as I said, Class 251. I know these were built at Metro Camel in Birmingham. There was 2 all first-class Midland Pullman 6-car sets. Initially arrived and entered service in 1960, July, I think it was, 1960. They ran between London, St Pancras and Manchester Central. Some 8-car sets were also built for the Western region. Now I know that the Bachmann model is a 6-car, and I don't think they plan on doing the 8-car one, because I think it would require some tooling changed for the cab ends, if I remember rightly. I've read that somewhere. Sadly, the trains were outdated 5 years later with the introduction of electrification on the West Coast Main Line. What a shame. And what's even more of a shame, none of them have been preserved. They've all gone. So, real pity about that. That's about it for the Blue Pullman, because obviously you can Google these things and read a lot more about them, but I'm just giving you pretty much the basics. So yeah, there we go. Well, as you can see, while I've been chatting, I've stopped the Blue Pullman and I've stopped the 4VEP there now as well, so just one more to stop. Oh yeah, by the way, did you like the bit in the dark? That's the first time I've ever done that with that mini onboard camera. It's not bad at all, really. Actually, I thought it was quite good. It'll be even better if I do it with 3 trains which have got all lighting, which is, yeah, that'd be cool. Right, here we go then. 2 bill. Right, there's your 9. Brilliant. Time to move on for the last 3. And that quite simply is all 3 Hornby units, the Class 370 APT in first livery, the Javilin 395 6-coach set, and another Blue Pullman second livery. Here we go. Well, while this second livery of the Blue Pullman comes out, there's no point in telling you about it again, because I've just explained everything to you about the manufacturing blah 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 in the last section that you just saw. It's also worth just pointing out that the only difference here is that this particular model has the yellow front, the hazard front, and I know a lot of people thought that really spoilt it. To make things just slightly different, I've dropped 1 coach off it, so this is now only a 5-coach set, and I'm going to bring it around onto the second line here, as you can see, and you can see the yellow front there quite plainly. So there's nothing else to tell you. The liveries are saying, oh, there is something to tell you. The 2 sets that Bachmann have produced are actually in Nanking blue, but this and the previous one you saw in that last section, they are actually in BR blue. Triang did do a Nanking blue one, and you'll be seeing that in the next video. Right, we're going to come out now with the Hitachi Javelin. I've done this as a correct 6-car setup. Beautiful model, this. You know, Hornby do make some really good stuff. It's just sometimes, you know, like that Railbus beginning, just very bland. Anyway, like I say, they are what they are, and it is what it is. So this is obviously going to come down to the outside line. She's going to be the nippy one. That goes for sure. There they come through. I'm deliberately stopping them this way. The front's facing the other way. It's just something different again, that's all. Makes a change. So there's your first 2. Now, I didn't have any sidings left, so what I've done is I put her at the back, and I'm now bringing her around, and look at the tilt on this baby. Right, this is the first livery one with the black front around the window frame. And she's tilting like hell. Now, that's how it's supposed to be. Right, there you go. That makes 12 completely different sets. That means then now you've seen, goodness gracious me, third video, that's 36 different sets you've seen. Wow. And there's still more to come. Absolutely, there is more to come. So with that, we'll get them moving and we'll do the info again. So like I say, there's nothing to talk about on the Blue Pullman, but we can move on to the other two. Now, when I first decided to buy the Class 370 APT, or Advanced Passenger Train, in fact I've got both versions of it. Not that there's a lot of difference, but I've got them both regardless. Now, I did do a lot of reading and studying on them at the time, and quite a lot of it I can actually remember. I can tell you for sure that the first six, I think they took to the rails in 1977, and it was thought at the time that this would be the ultimate in rail travel. They used a 25 kV overhead supply, and the power car could deliver 4,000 horsepower. That's pretty good. And with two of them running together, they could reach speeds of 160 miles an hour. That was amazing. Now, the tilting was produced by some sophisticated electronics, but problems with this was the principal downfall, leading to the abandonment of the project in 1985. That I remember very easily. Something I didn't know until quite recently was when Hornby decided to do the Class 370 APT, they actually worked really close with the British Rail in developing the model. And as I said not long ago, there is two versions. You've just seen the first one, or you're seeing the first one here, and you will see the second version in part 4 video. Hey guys, I'll tell you what will be interesting here in a couple of minutes is when I put the onboard cam on all three of them, obviously separately, at these speeds, that's going to be interesting, and also how the camera's going to handle the tilting motion of the APT, so that's going to be good fun in a couple of minutes. Time to move on now to the Javilin, the 395. Let's do that. Now, as the Class 395 Javelin EMU is quite a modern unit, obviously I think I'm quite sure when they came into service, so I think it was 2009. Oh yes, it tells me right here. I was just about to say to you, I'm going to read a bit from this book that I've got because I don't want to give you assumed or false information. So let me just read this to you. It says, built by the Japanese company Hitachi, obviously, the Class 395 Javelins are high-speed 6-car commuter trains which came into service in 2009 and are operated by Southeastern. They are based on Japan's A-train technology and are designed to travel on Kent's local lines, reaching speeds of 225 kilometres. You'll have to change that, work that one out yourself into miles, on the new high-speed line into London St Pancras International. They drastically shortened the travel time to the capital from the Kent coast, including Folkestone, as well as the Canterbury West. They played an important part in the 2012 London Olympics. Yeah, pretty cool. It's easier just to do that than try and tell you things that I'm not really sure about. Right, coming up soon then, we're going to have the onboard cam. This is going to be interesting. Here we go then. Oh yes. Right, we're on the front of the Blue Pullman here with the camera. Oh, it's handling speed great. Look at that. It's dead clear. Even at these speeds, it's looking amazing. And look at the tilting. Oh yeah, look at that. Wow. you can actually see it tilting properly there. Look, that is brilliant. Right, now we're on the back end of the Hitachi Javelin 395, and again, the speed is not affecting the camera. I'm amazed, I'm impressed. Great camera, really good this is. That's brilliant footage. That's absolutely excellent footage. Very pleased with this. Oh Christ, yes. You can see everything. There's my kitchen car coming up, look. Here you go, on the right there, look. Beautiful kitchen car. I didn't do that, by the way, I bought it like that. He made a good job of it as well, the guy who did it, whoever it was. Oh, now look, we're on the, oh yes. We're on the coach next to the power coach of the APT. Look how it's swinging and tilting, and the pantograph is staying perfectly level. I bet you won't find this on YouTube. I bet nobody else has done this. That is amazing. It's astonishing, in fact. Oh, come on, look at that. It shows that British Rail and Hornby work well together on that. Now we're on the same coach of the APT, facing backwards. And again, it's a great view. You just see, oh yeah, you've just seen everything coming into the frame. Look, that is fantastic. That is brilliant. Wow, that was fantastic. I enjoyed that. It's come out much better than I actually thought it would do. So well with it. Whew. Yeah. Well, it's been another one of those long jobs creating this video. I mean, they're all difficult to create because they're extremely time consuming. So yeah, we're getting to the end and we're slowing them down. Okay, here comes the Hitachi, the Javelin Class 395. We'll just bring the others to a stop as well. Right, Blue Pullman's next. You know, if you look close at it, I don't know if it's going to do it again now, you can see it was actually jumping there. What it is, the underframe is actually catching on that point motor. They're not going to see it now because I'm stopping it. Yeah, a bit too far as well. Typical. Back. Better. Okay, last one up then. Let's put the tilting on it. And that's on first radius curves, by the way. So Hornby did a good job of that. Good job of it. So bring it to a stop. Ooh, look at the tilt on it. Brilliant. Oh, I've enjoyed doing this. Well, I've enjoyed doing all of them, and I'm looking forward to doing the fourth one, which, by the way, the fourth one, I think I might have more than 12 sets left, so it might stretch to 15, so it'll be an extra 10 minutes, but that's not a big deal. Right, well, you can see what it says on the screen, what it always says, and I mean it sincerely to all of you. And I'm going to get on to part 4 as soon as I can. So till then, it's the end of part 3. Hope you enjoyed it. And as I say, I'm looking forward to doing the next one, and I'm looking forward to your comments on this one and the next one as well. Bye!